Yeah, I've got TLT for Friday. I have a small position there. It's down by 34%, but that's on the. Let me just see what happens if I roll that to Monday. I could roll it to Monday. I could roll it to May 2nd and then change the strikes. If I change the strikes that I roll, you can change strikes when you roll, right? I can go 88, 90 half. I can go 88 half. $91. Not quite a credit. I can go 89, 91 half and get a credit. Let's see. Yeah, that would be quite a bump. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, but I just want to share with you. So we currently have the 87 half 90 call debit spread on TLT, and I've rolled it a couple of times. So it's now going to expire on Friday, the 25th. What you could do, if you thought this was going to really move with velocity, you could roll it to May 2nd, next Friday. But instead of just rolling these strikes, you roll it to May 2nd and you change the strikes when you roll it to 89.91.5. And you'd get a $5 credit for it. So you can change that. Now, obviously, I'm pushing it higher, so I'm looking for a bigger move, right? You'd need to get to here by next Friday for max profit. But when you roll, you can just roll it, which is what we did last week. You can also roll and change the strikes. Go a little bit further. Just something for you to know about rolling. When you click on roll in your platform, you can change the strikes. And I suggest you do it just to see what it looks like. Don't take the trade, but you can see how you can move the strikes further. Let's say I need more time and I want to put on more risk because I truly believe. So I'm going to roll it, but I'm going to push the strikes a little further and see if I can get myself a credit for it. But I'm not going to do that today. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. As far as leaning into the trades that I currently have, some of these lofty numbers have come down quite a bit. That's interesting. Wow. Look at Bitcoin. Solid move. Probably the only one that stays elevated. No, it doesn't turn into a credit spread, JC. You're keeping it as a debit spread. You're just moving the strikes, right? So, for instance, if you had on Coinbase, let's say you had the 190 calls for Friday. Here we are, and it might get up to 190, 191, 192, but you think over the next week it's going to go even higher. So you could roll it to next Friday, right? And it might cost you, $1 to do it or 50 cents to do it. What if you rolled it to next Friday and change the strike to 192. Well, the 192 calls are a lot cheaper. So you're buying this with the money that you've got sitting here that you still have for the 190 call that you bought. So most likely you're going to get a credit. Same thing with the debit spread. So if you have 87, whatever it is that we were talking about before, if you have 87 half by 90 and you roll it to next week, but you're long here, you're short here, you're just going to roll it to, 80, whatever I said it was, 88 half or 80 whatever, 91-ish or whatever, changing the strikes. You're still long, short calls. So you're selling this and buying this. That's all rolling is. You sell your current position and you buy a new one. But if you do it in the action of rolling, it does it for you. Yeah, so FXI, someone wanted to look at that earlier. Is there a deal with China coming soon? Well, if there is, FXI is going to explode. So if you wanted to put something on for May, if you think it might happen by May, a long slog. So if you want to do a counter trade, right? So they're saying that it's going to be tough to get a deal with China. It's going to be a long slog. Well, that would mean this will go down. So everybody's going to want to trade this down. How about we buy some 35 calls, for the end of May? Counter trade. Because all of a sudden something gets announced and this thing pops, right? Let's see, what do those cost? Let's go to, let's go to May 30th. Any volume here? Nope, nobody's trading it. Sort of like that idea. Expected move is 350. That would give us 37 as a target. Let's look at the chart. Where's 37? 37 right about here. Yeah, I like it. I like 37 as a target. See how much the 35s are. $36 halves. There's some action here. Here's the 37 halves. So if you wanted to, you could pick up a little bit of this. This is really odd. I don't know. You probably won't get filled. The spreads are too wide. But look at this. 35s are $1. The 36s are cheaper, but then the 37s are from 22 cents to $1.07. Yeah, so I'll stay away from that. Let's just see if it's more action here. Yeah, if you go to the 23rd, there's more realistic pricing, and the spreads aren't as wide. I mean, if I could get some 35 calls for May, let's go to 16. Look at the volume here. Woohoo! And they're not that more expensive either. How about the 35s? Look at the spreads, nice and tight. Nice volume here. $0.60 for the 35 calls. Look at the 36s for 40 cents. Now, why would somebody buy like the 38s or the 40 calls? Why would somebody do that? Well, because if this thing gaps up and pops, the premium explodes. And if you bought it for 14 cents, it could be worth 50 cents. So this gives you a 5x trade in a blink of an eye. But the probability is, less. So this is 242, which could be right at 536. I could do 35s, and it'll cost me 60 cents. I like it. I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to post it just because transparency. I think the 35s are good. I'm going to bid 60 cents. I'll just get a small amount just to have some on. There you go. China, done. Yeah, there are options in Bitcoin. There's a number of different Bitcoin ETFs that you can get that trade pretty good. The one that we've traded before is IBIT. Look at that. Woo, baby. That's something. I do like Coinbase, but like, look at this. This is right up to the Bollinger, huh? In the money, right at the 50. Let's look at IBIT. This is above the 50. Yeah, pretty tough to buy this on a gap up. So I think I'm going to wait. I'll wait on that. So you can see we did not get up to this level here. This is, so this was yesterday. Here's the gap. We filled the gap. We did not get to this or the pre-market high here either. And now we're here. So this will be pretty interesting to watch where we end up today.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.